This is the story of a beautiful young woman, graceful in her walk, radiant in her smile, admired by many. Yet behind her beauty lay a strange shadow she could never understand. For as far back as she could remember, whenever her time of the month came, her mother always seemed to visit. Always. Not once, not twice. Every cycle, her mother would appear, as if drawn by something unseen. At first, she thought little of it. After all, mothers check on their daughters, don't they? But the consistency was odd. It wasn't a casual drop-in. It wasn't a coincidence. Month after month, her mother showed up, often at night, always lingering longer than necessary. The girl, innocent and trusting, never questioned it. But in the silence of her heart, a question brewed. Why always then? Why always during her cycle? Unknown to her, behind these visits lay a dark secret. Something twisted. Something her innocent mind could not have imagined. For when she discarded the evidence of her womanhood, placing her used pads into the trash, thinking it gone and forgotten, another set of eyes was watching. Another set of hands was waiting. Her own mother. At midnight, when all was silent, she would creep to the bin. There, in the darkness, she would reach for what her daughter thought was waste. She would lift it, touch it, and then, horrifyingly, lick and consume it. Blood that was meant to pass away became her ritual, her feast, her power. It was a secret hidden in shadows, a bond cloaked in witchcraft, and the young woman had no idea. Until one day, her path crossed with a prophet who saw deeper. It wasn't planned. She hadn't sought him out. She was simply passing through when his eyes caught hers, and he called her forward. His voice was calm, but heavy with weight. "You," he said, "do you know what happens when you sleep? Do you know what your mother does at midnight when you menstruate?" The words cut through her like fire. Confused, unsettled, she shook her head. "No, impossible. Go," the prophet said. "The next time your cycle comes, don't sleep at midnight. Watch. Look into your trash, and you will see. The truth has been hidden from you for too long. But revelation is the key to freedom." His words haunted her. She wanted to dismiss them as superstition, the exaggerations of a preacher. But something in his tone lingered, something she could not shake. Curiosity burned. The first month after the prophecy, she dismissed it. Her mother came as usual, gentle, smiling, caring as always. Nothing seemed wrong. And when midnight came, the girl slept, too afraid or too skeptical to keep watch. Maybe it's just his imagination, she told herself. Maybe he mistook me for someone else. But the seed of doubt was planted, and with it, the subtle unease that grew stronger. The second month, it happened again. Her mother's visit, her soft voice, her lingering presence. This time, the girl couldn't ignore the gnawing thought. Why always now? Why never any other time? She began to observe more closely, watching her mother's movements, her glances toward the bin. Her heart wrestled. Could it be true? Could my own mother be hiding something so dark? No, she argued with herself. No. Yet the prophet's words echoed. At midnight. The girl found herself restless, pacing, torn between disbelief and fear. That night, she almost stayed in bed. She almost ignored it again. But something, an unseen push, a divine urging, pulled her up. At the stroke of 12, heart pounding, she tiptoed to the trash. And there, in the dim glow of night, she froze. Her mother was already there, bending low. What she saw shattered her. Her mother, her very own blood, was lifting the pad she had discarded. And with a hunger that was not natural, not human, she licked it. She consumed it, piece by piece, savoring what should have been waste. The daughter gasped silently, her hand over her mouth, her knees weak. This was no dream. This was no fable. This was witchcraft. This was real. For a moment, she could not breathe. Her chest tightened, tears welled in her eyes. The woman who birthed her, who raised her, who claimed to love her, was feeding off her in the most diabolical way. Suddenly, the prophet's words made sense. Suddenly, the unending setbacks, the strange stagnations in her life, the battles she could not explain, all of it had a root. Her blood had been weaponized. The truth hit her like thunder. She had been a victim of a midnight ritual she never consented to. Each cycle, her mother wasn't just visiting out of care. She was coming to collect, to consume, to sustain herself in darkness. This revelation broke her heart, but it also opened her eyes. For freedom is born when truth is revealed, and though she was shaken, she now knew. She backed away quietly that night, returning to her room, tears streaming silently down her face. Her world had changed forever. She wasn't safe in ignorance anymore. But now, she was armed with revelation. And revelation, though painful, is power. The prophet had been right. The truth had been hidden too long, but God, in His mercy, had chosen to uncover it. Deliverance begins with discovery. From that night forward, she was never the same. She confronted the reality of what she saw, prayed with a new fire, and began to cut ties with the darkness her mother had bound her to. The pain of betrayal was deep, but the strength of freedom was deeper. What the enemy had used for bondage, God had turned into a testimony. Her silence broke, and so did the curse. And here's the truth for you. Darkness thrives in secrecy, but it dies in the light of revelation. Sometimes, God allows you to see the hidden things not to destroy you, but to deliver you. Sometimes, the people closest to you carry the sharpest daggers, but when God opens your eyes, you are no longer a victim. You become a warrior, and every midnight ritual loses its power. Subscribe prompt. If this story shook you, don't just stop here. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next revelation that could change your life.